Lee Greenwood is not just a singer, he is in many ways America's background music. For decades, he has been the go-to performer for the one song that every politician, fireworks display, and 4th of July barbecue has trotted out like a faithful Labrador that won't stop bringing you the same chewed-up tennis ball. Yes, I am talking about God Bless the USA, a song so omnipresent that it has practically become America's unofficial ringtone. And like most ringtones, it is beloved by some, hated by others, and yet somehow unavoidable for all of us. If you've been to a state fair, a veterans fundraiser, or frankly a Walmart parking lot around Independence Day, you've heard it blaring from a speaker with the same intensity as though the country itself is screaming, "We get it, we're patriotic." But recently, Lee Greenwood has found himself in the spotlight once again, not just because of the song, but because of the strange and fascinating role he continues to play in American political theater. Every election cycle, at least one candidate dusts him off like an heirloom kept in the attic and says, "You know what this rally needs? Greenwood." It is political karaoke at its most predictable, and here's the thing, Lee Greenwood doesn't even seem to mind. Why would he? Has managed to transform a single song into a perpetual fountain of relevance. Other artists write entire albums, tour for years, reinvent themselves to stay current. Lee Greenwood, he just shows up, presses play on the track, and lets America do the rest. He is, in that sense, the ultimate life hack. Of course, the sheer ubiquity of God Bless the USA raises questions. Does it actually unite people, or is it just a patriotic placebo that we all take without examining the side effects? Because while it's easy to belt out the chorus with tears in our eyes and fireworks in the background, it's harder to reconcile the fact that America is complicated. We love to stand up and proudly sing, "I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free," but those words ring a little differently depending on who you are, where you're standing, and whether your freedoms have been respected in the same way as your neighbors. And that's what makes Lee Greenwood fascinating. He is not just a country singer, he is the curator of a very specific version of patriotism. It's the version with waving flags, smiling children, and bald eagles soaring over amber waves of grain. It is patriotic Disney World, safe, clean, and curated to make you feel good. But patriotism, real patriotism, is messy. It's people arguing in Congress, activists marching in the streets, and yes, comedians on late-night television reminding you that your country is both beautiful and deeply flawed. Yet, Greenwood's anthem has always been treated as sacred, as though to question it is to question America itself. Politicians know this, which is why they use it so often. If you play God Bless the USA loudly enough at a rally, it drowns out uncomfortable questions like, "Wait, what's your actual policy on healthcare? Or didn't you just vote against veterans' benefits last week?" It's emotional camouflage, and Greenwood's voice is the sonic equivalent of waving a giant red, white, and blue blanket over reality. And in that sense, he has unwittingly, or perhaps very wittingly, become one of the most effective political tools in modern history. But let's also be clear, Lee Greenwood is not a villain here. He's an artist. He wrote a song that resonated with people, and it exploded in a way he probably never could have predicted. The man himself has often said he just wanted to express gratitude for the opportunities this country gave him. That is both admirable and genuine. The issue isn't Greenwood. The issue is how America has turned his work into an emotional crutch. It's like when you eat comfort food every time you're stressed, you're not really addressing the problem, you're just covering it in gravy and hoping it goes away. And here's the twist. Greenwood himself has shown he's not just a one-song pony. He has a whole catalogue of music albums upon albums that most people have never listened to. He even won a Grammy. But we as a nation don't want to hear those songs. We don't want the deep cuts. We just want the greatest hit again and again, like a jukebox stuck on repeat. Imagine being Lee Greenwood at a concert. You perform your heart out on a ballad that no one's heard of, and the crowd just sits there politely waiting, thinking, "Yeah, that's nice, Lee, but please shut up and give us the chorus." What makes this even more interesting is how his song has been rebranded over time. After 9/11, it became an anthem of resilience. During political campaigns, it becomes a rallying cry. On the 4th of July, it's practically our national anthem's younger, cooler cousin. And in times of crisis, it's dusted off like a patriotic fire extinguisher. Greenwood has created a track that morphs into whatever America needs it to be at any given moment. That's impressive, but it's also telling. It says something about how desperate we are for easy symbols of unity in a country that is often anything but united. And maybe that's the heart of it. Lee Greenwood reminds us that music is powerful, but also that we should be careful with it. Because while songs can inspire, they can also simplify. They can reduce a complex reality into a neat package with a catchy chorus. That's fine if you're at a barbecue with a beer in hand. It's less fine when that song is being used to paper over real problems. So what do we do with Lee Greenwood? Maybe the answer is simple. Appreciate him. Enjoy the song for what it is. A heartfelt, catchy, undeniably effective anthem. But don't stop there. Let it be the beginning of a conversation, not the end of one. If you stand up proudly when it plays, great. But when it's over, sit back down and ask, okay, now what? Because loving your country isn't just about singing along to a song. It's about doing the hard work to make sure everyone has the same reasons to sing it with pride. In the end, Lee Greenwood is a mirror. He shows us the side of America we want to believe in. The hopeful, the grateful, the proud. But whereas, as we know, don't show everything. They don't show the cracks in the walls or the mess on the floor just out of frame. For that, we need to look deeper, and maybe that's the real lesson. Lee Greenwood gave us a chorus to sing together. The rest of the verses, though, those are up to us to write.